Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Simons. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist based in Florida and a course creator. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 7 hidden benefits of low self-esteem. We always think of low self-esteem as something that is just negative, right? Can't imagine that there would be benefits. So you're going to learn 7 of them in this video. The first benefit is connection. That when we have low self-esteem, we actually tend to evoke support from others. We often actually offer support to others. We tend to be approachable, which fosters connection. The next one is humility. So when we have low self-esteem, we tend to be quite humble people, and we are often appreciative of other people for any effort that they make our way. It increases our tendency to be nice to people and to evoke niceness from others. And that humility often creates a sense of empathy and compassion. When we have low self-esteem, another benefit is predictability, in that it requires less effort and risk in relationships. And what I mean by that is that when we have low self-esteem, we tend to reject ourselves ahead of time when it comes to relationship. And by doing that, we minimize wearing ourselves out by trying to read other people's minds and wondering what they're thinking and what they're feeling about us, because low self-esteem often comes with a sense of responsibility for other people's thoughts and feelings. So when we have that and we already kind of know that we aren't worth something, or that we reject ourselves and have this low self-esteem, we've already decided that who we are and what we're worth. And so we don't really have to expend a lot of energy trying to figure out what people are thinking about us, because we're already quite convinced that they're thinking negative things or that they're rejecting us, and we do that ahead of time. And this is actually quite efficient in our brains. Our brains like to be efficient. Another one is boundary avoidance. Boundaries are often quite stressful and require a risk of relationship. And when we have low self-esteem, we will tend to avoid setting boundaries with others. And this kind of justifies us not risking upsetting others, which actually preserves relationships a lot of times. Number 5 is actually control. That when we have low self-esteem, we are essentially in charge of our self-perception. There's no question in our mind of what we're worth and what we're not worth. We've kind of decided who we are, and we're pretty firm on our conclusions. And we have a cognitive bias called confirmation bias. And that means that once we believe something, our brain is going to kind of be on a mission to prove ourselves to be right about things that we already believe. And so in this case, when it comes to self-esteem, we're always looking for and finding evidence to confirm what we already believe about ourselves and what we think that others believe about us as well. And that essentially gives us control over that story, or that self-esteem that we have about ourselves. And self-esteem, by the way, is really just your opinion of yourself. It's just a series of thoughts that that culminate in your opinion of yourself. And so when we have this low opinion of ourselves, again, we tend to, it's interesting because even though what we believe about ourselves may be quite negative, the idea that we're right about ourselves is satisfying in a strange way, right? It does cause suffering a lot of times, but the idea that we know ourselves, that we're right about ourselves, can be a very secure and satisfying system. Okay, number 6 is that we minimize potential failure, right? When we put ourselves out there, we risk failure. And if failure means something about our worth, if it amplifies our kind of self-rejection or even our kind of emotional violence toward ourselves, then it becomes incredibly risky. And so we tend to minimize potential failure by not taking risks, and that increases our sense of safety. And safety also is something that we as human beings, it is actually a very important thing that we tend to gravitate to. And we like safety. It helps us to feel secure and safe, and we all like that feeling. And then the last one is a motivation to be our best selves. So when you think about it, if you don't think you're good at things or you don't think you're worth much, you're the sky's the limit. You're always believing that you're not good enough, which actually can be motivating because you're always looking to improve yourself. You never kind of feel satisfied with where you are, which can be exhausting, but it can also be motivating. All right, that's what I have for you today. Look forward to connecting again soon. Bye bye.